Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Updates on Low Garwood murder case. Killer reportedly paid $170,000. The first witness at the trial of Javon Garwood for his stepmother's murder in Trelawney Church has told the court that the man who pulled the trigger, Dwight Bingham, told him he had paid $170,000 to do a job. The witness, Leon Hines, was a getaway driver in the murder and is serving a 6-year sentence after pleading guilty for his part in the crime. Bingham has also pleaded guilty and is awaiting sentence for the murder. Hines told the Trelawney Circuit Court yesterday afternoon the series of activities leading up to the murder of Low Garwood in the Agape Christian Fellowship Church on January 31, 2021. Hines said on January 26, he got a WhatsApp message from Bingham saying that he got $170,000 to do a job. I thought that it was to do some construction work because I knew that he was in construction work, he told the court. I rented a car on the 29th of January 2021. I was approached by Prince, also known as Bingham, to transport him to the Falmouth on Sunday. At that time, I did not know for what reason, he further told the court. He said when he arrived at the church, he parked in a lane beside the building. I saw Bingham exited the back of the black pouch and a gun in his waist. Shortly after, I heard 5 explosions and Sprint walked out of the church and instructed me to burn wood. Shortly after he realized his phone was missing, he did not take up my offer to go back and look for the phone, Hines related. On the journey back to Rose Heights in Montego Bay, Bingham reported they tried to make several calls using Hines' phone. At one point he said, the one Janoy not answering his phone. When asked to look around the courtroom to see if he could recognize Janoy, he pointed out Javon Garwood, who was sitting in the dock. The trial will continue today. Witness takes stand in former banker murder trial. Leon Hines, co-accused in the murder of Andrea Low Garwood, was the first witness to take the stand in the Trelawney Circuit Court on Tuesday in the trial of Javon Garwood, the stepson of the victim. Hines, who was sentenced to 6 years in prison for his involvement in the crime, is now the Crown's witness after agreeing to provide evidence against both his co-accused. Javon is charged with murder and accessory to the fact. Dwight Bingham, the other co-accused in the murder of the then 51-year-old banker, pleaded guilty and will be sentenced on July 25th. St. Catherine businessman accused of fraud over vehicle purchase gets $500,000 bail. St. Catherine businessman Petra Evans, who is accused of fraud for failing to return over $5 million for purchase of a vehicle, was yesterday offered $500,000 bail with 1 or 2 sureties in the parish court. The bail application was made by his attorney, Odin Marston. As part of his bail, Senior Parish Court Desiree Elaine ordered Evans to surrender his travel documents and to report to the Old Harbour Police Station on Wednesdays. He is to reappear in the St. Catherine Parish Court on July 21. His co-accused, Marissa Evans, is out on station bail. They are charged with breaches of the Consumer Protection Act and fraudulent conversion. Allegations are that in 2021, the complainant paid the accused $5.65 million for the purchase of a Ford Ranger sport utility vehicle. Despite attempts by the complainant to get the vehicle, the accused became very elusive. As a result, the matter was reported to the police, and an investigation led to their arrest on June 28, 2023. They were subsequently charged. Portmore priest charged for alleged sexual abuse of minor. A Portmore St. Catherine Roman Catholic priest has been charged on allegations of sexual abuse in relation to a minor. Several counts of sexual assault charges were laid on Monday by detectives after the clergyman was positively identified by a 12-year-old and questioned in the presence of his attorney. 39-year-old Kenya national Lawrence has been charged with having sexual intercourse with a person under age 16, sexual touching, grievous sexual assault, and abduction of a child under 16 years. Allegations are that the man was reportedly sexually assaulted at a premises on the compound of the church. A report was filed with the police and an investigation was launched. The priest was later arrested and subsequently charged. In a statement on Monday, the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Kingston indicated that the priest has been removed from all activities pastoral ministry, adding that it is cooperating fully with the relevant authorities on the matter. It also said, wishes to express publicly its deepest concern for all parties involved in this reported incident. Convict in missionaries' murder denies racist motive in killing. The St. Mary farmer who earlier this year pleaded guilty to taking part in the brutal and shocking 2016 murder of 2 United States missionaries in St. Mary had reportedly confessed to shooting both men, claiming Black lives count. Something come into me. I couldn't control. Dwight Henry, who is now 33, reportedly told the police during a question and answer session when asked why he killed the men. But Henry, who is currently serving a life sentence for the missionaries' murder, yesterday sought to distance himself from that confession and utterances. He insisted that he had only shot and killed one of the men, while his cousin, Andre Thomas, shot and chopped the other man in his head, killing him. I never forced him to do it. He did it of his own will, he said. The main witness earlier, when asked by the prosecutor why he had shot the man in the head, said, "It's just a strange feeling come over me. That's why I did it, but I am really sorry. That is why I plead guilty, but I never knew me do it alone." Henry previously pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder under a plea deal and was in January sentenced to life imprisonment with the stipulation that he served 28 years in prison before being eligible for parole. Both missionaries were found dead in Wentworth District in St. Mary on April 30 and May 1, 2016, respectively. The bodies was found on Saturday in bushes with a gunshot wound to the back of the head, with hands bound behind him, while Nicholas' body was found the next day with a gunshot wound to his chest and 6 chop wounds to the head, some distance away from his colleague. Both men had left home on separate motorcycles to visit a site where they would be carrying out repairs on a house. Yesterday, when Henry took the stand in the home circuit court where Thomas is being tried on 2 counts of murder, he gave his version of how the murder took place. According to him, on the day of the murder, he and his cousin were in the bushes chopping coconut jelly when they heard a motorcycle. Thomas, he testified, pointed an interrogative weapon at one of the men, stopping him, and the man complied. Henry said he ordered the man to lie down on the ground and cut a piece of his shirt and tie his hand behind him. By the time he said that, the other missionary had disembarked his bike and was being led by Thomas, but managed to break away and run. Thomas, he testified, then fired a shot at the man, and then both chased the missionary and he fell into a pool of water. He said Thomas then shot the man and chopped him in his head more than once. According to him, they went back to the spot where they left the other one tied up, and he shot him in the head, and both he and Thomas went their separate ways. Henry told the court that he never knew the missionaries before the day of the murder, and although he had pleaded guilty to their murder, did not know their names. Asked whether he and Thomas had a discussion on the day of the incident, or whether the victims had said something, he answered in the negative. However, during cross-examination from Thomas-led attorney, a different version of the murder emerged. In that version, Henry reportedly told the police that he was the one who stopped the men by pointing a gun at them and then ordered one of them on the ground and tie him up. He then shot the man after a feeling came over him, and when the other missionary heard the shot and he ran, he also fired at him, but the man kept running. Both he and Thomas chased the man, and after he jumped into a pool of water, he shot him and Thomas dropped him. Henry reportedly told the police that he had planned on killing the men when he saw them. In answer to the police, Henry also reportedly shared that a friend of his had given him the gun and that he threw the machete in a river. Henry, who is for the most part was very reluctant to answer the question of whether he recalled giving the police those answers, and in most instances did not answer. He said he did not recall telling the police anything Black lives count or that he had shot both men. He firmly maintained that he only shot one of them. According to him, he was not prejudiced and loved people from all nations. Under further cross-examination, he said he did not remember telling the police that his relatives told him about things that white people do to Black people that make you hate him. Henry insisted that he was not angry at the missionaries nor hated them, and that the feeling that he claimed came over him had nothing to do with hatred, revenge, or cruelty. Henry will undergo further cross-examination today. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification